Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and as you guys probably already know, Sigma got released on PTR yesterday, and ever since he got released, there's already been teams being formed. There's hashtag Team Toes, hashtag Put Shoes On. Now personally, I'm a part of Team Toes because y'all already know how I feel about toes. I don't have a foot fetish. In fact, I don't even like feet. But toes on the other hand, yeah. But along with his release, there's also going to be a lot of people making the claim that Sigma is broken. Sigma is an OP hero. Sigma will start a new meta, this, and that. And at least for me, a lot of my viewers are console players. And I try to take that with a grain of salt because more than likely, they probably haven't played him yet. But that's the whole point of this video, is to answer that question. Is Sigma a broken hero? Is Sigma really gonna change Overwatch for the better or for the worse? And I plan on doing that by breaking down Sigma, by talking about the good, the bad, the ugly with his abilities, with his primary forms of fire, so that you can form your own opinion. So you aren't just subject to like these 30-second clips that you see on Reddit or Twitter by like my boy CarQ, where they're shooting a shield with Reinhardt and assuming, oh my god, he's gonna be a broken hero. Meanwhile, you can easily do that with Zarya's bubble. I'm just saying. So again, just watch this video and then make your judgment about Sigma. So when you first get your hands on Sigma, the first thing that will greet you will be his big elongated toes. But moving past the sexy side, you're gonna see that he has a pretty standard toolkit that takes a little bit of getting used to and actually has a lot more hidden features than what meets the eye. But the first thing that you notice is that he's holding two gigantic balls. I really want to stop the sexual tension, which are gonna be called hyperspheres. Now, I'll be the first one to say that this isn't the most game-breaking primary form of fire when you compare it to other heroes, but it's still somewhere in the middle. Where you look at Moira's primary form of fire, yeah, it's very accurate, but the reward isn't all that great because it's very, very low damage. Where someone like McCree, on the other hand, on the opposite side of the spectrum, has high damage, can sometimes get full team wipes, but it's very inaccurate. So that's high risk, high reward. Moira is low risk, low reward. Sigma is somewhere in the middle. I would say more on the lower end because you don't do the greatest amount of damage, but it's still somewhat forgiving. Like if you're very accurate, yeah, you can do some damage, but because you don't have to be accurate on the head or necessarily even be accurate on the hero, because he does have the explosion factor if you don't make contact right away, it is again a very forgiving tank hero. Not even just damage hero, tank hero. So while you can spend hours practicing Sigma, a majority of those hours won't really be spent on his primary form of fire, but rather his secondary form of fire, which isn't really a second. It's his experimental barrier. This is the reason why you will play Sigma. This is the reason why you will choose him over Reinhardt and especially Orisa. When it comes to shield tanks, there's always a downside when you do use the shield. When it comes to Reinhardt, yeah, you have this big giant barrier, lots of health, but it's only for Reinhardt. So if you don't have Reinhardt near you, you won't have that protection. Orisa, on the other hand, you can kind of throw your shield anywhere, but you do have that cooldown. All they really have to do is move past the shield. When it comes to Sigma's barrier, it can not only not be tied to Sigma, but really be placed anywhere without having to be punished with a cooldown. You just have to wait for that 1 second delay of having to retract the barrier and reposition it anywhere that you want. So anytime that you wish you had protection at a certain choke, but you couldn't because you had a cooldown with a shield, or you couldn't because your Reinhardt died, or Reinhardt is coming back from spawn, or is in the back line because for whatever reason he's in the back line, now you can play Sigma and really place protection at any choke, at any area, or on any hero that you really want. And that's going to be especially important when you think about stuff like the bunker comp, or a Pharah ulting, or an ulting McCree. This will not only give you the obvious protection from those ultimates, but it will allow organized teams to use this as protection for tactical attacks, for quick repositions that you otherwise couldn't really pull off if your Reinhardt wasn't as quick as, say, the Lucio, or the Tracer, or the Soldier, or whatnot. This is the quote-unquote broken part of Sigma that I don't think a lot of people really see at the beginning, but as time progresses and when people start to use the experimental barrier and start to experiment with position, that was a bad joke, oh my god. When they start to figure out the positions that this barrier can be better utilized, those are the moments that people will get annoyed with Sigma, and those are the times when Sigma is at its peak. And that is the reason why you will use Sigma over these other shield tanks, is because you can put that protective barrier anywhere you want and reposition at any time that you want without having to be punished. Now, if it does get destroyed, okay, whatever, you just have to let it recharge. But good Sigma mains will realize, hey, my berry is not being utilized and it's getting destroyed. Let me retract it so that it can charge up and not get destroyed. But while his protected barrier is going to be somewhat decent against Bunker, his ultimate is going to be extraordinarily good against Bunker, to the point where this is going to be the Bunker counter, because it requires the enemy team to be grouped up together, and Sigma's ultimate can not only be executed at a safe distance away, but is easily executed if everyone's grouped up together, which they basically always are when they're in the bunker comp. But outside of an easy bunker counter, I really don't see his ultimate being used for any other things or with any other things. Like, yeah, sometimes I use this for an easy kill on a squishy, like an out of position Lucio, or if I really want to get a kill on Mercy, I just pop this ultimate, slam her on the ground, throw a few orbs on her, and throw a rock at her, just like the women that I meet in real life, and move on with my day. Some people are asking, what can you use this ultimate in tandem with? Can you use this with Zarya's ultimate? And while the obvious answer is yes, I really see this ultimate being used as an initiating ult or something just to help you create space, and not really something that you want to try to combine it with, like, say, a Genji ult or a Bastion ult, because I really didn't see that. Yeah, again, you can get an easy kill on a squishy if you were to use the Zarya ultimate, but you can also just do that with Sigma's ultimate alone. I might just need to practice with this ultimate more with different compositions to be able to answer that question better, but the way that I see is that you initiate this ult to help you create space, isolate a specific hero, whether it is a Reinhardt, whether it is a Mercy, or whether it is a Widowmaker, causing your team so much pain to the point where you gotta solo ult her, but if you're able to kill her, which you can with this ultimate with a few combos from Sigma, then that's the way that I see this ultimate being used. Is it a great team wiping ultimate? Possibly. Is it a great isolating ultimate? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But now let's talk about Sigma's abilities and clear the air here with any confusion, because his abilities are somewhat confusing and also have some hidden features that you might not notice right away. First, let's talk about his kinetic grasp. This does not eat Zarya's ultimate.
Can I eat a Graviton as Sigma?
It's not like Defense Matrix. So you're not like swallowing the ability. You're only absorbing the damage.
The Graviton still goes off, but I might absorb like the 1 damage it does.
Exactly.
Man, I don't know who to believe. Jeff says you can't eat a grav, but in execution you can. Is Jeff wrong? Is it a bug? Won't I get laid? Probably all of that's correct, but don't get mad at me. Get mad at Jeff for this confusion. Now, it can absorb damage and it can transfer as a temporary shield to Sigma, and this is gonna be dependent on the player. Again, this is what's gonna separate good Sigma players from godlike Sigma players, because they're gonna be able to recognize, okay, remove the shield and be the human shield for my team, so that it not only protects my team, but also gives me a bunch of shield so that we can be aggressive and then reposition the shield. This is going to be the broken part about Sigma, is not only the repositioning of the shield, but also the use of his kinetic grasp. When you figure out the timing of the execution of both of these abilities, the shield and the grasp, this is what's going to make you not only a good tank, but a powerful Sigma. Just think of like how Doomfist is annoying in some aspects of when he's going in your back line. Yes, he's securing kills, but he's also building a shield, being a 400 HP DPS hero. Not only is he being powerful, but he's unstoppable. And that's going to be the same thing when it comes to Sigma, is that he's being a good tank protecting his team, but he's also unkillable now, which will allow him to secure kills. This is, I'm going to say it one more time, gonna separate the good Sigma players from the godlike Sigma players, because they spend the time practicing the timing of the abilities, when to use shield, when to use kinetic grasp, and when to be aggressive when you don't have to worry about any other abilities. But the last thing I want to talk about is gonna be a second ability, which is accretion. This is better than you think, because I know what you're thinking. This is only a rock that does 60 HP, because I thought the same thing. This is only a rock that does 60 HP. Why is this good? Because this is also a stun ability. Think about McCree's stun. That does 5 HP damage. But do you use that to get the 5 HP damage? No! You use that to stun a hero. So if you have that same mindset for how accretion should be used, not only will you get the 60 HP damage that you probably used it for, but you'll also be stopping such as Moira ults or McCree ults, Roadhog ults, Pharah ults. So much can be done because accretion is a rock being thrown from long distance, and it does a little bit of damage and it stuns. So this is an ability that, again, on the surface might not seem like it does a lot, but this will be the separation. Okay, I lied. One more time. The separation of, say it with me, good Sigma players from godlike Sigma players. And one quick tip that I learned in chat yesterday is that this is a great animation tool for your primary from fire, to where if you throw your 2 orbs and then use accretion, it'll get rid of that animation time. So a combo that I learned is that if you use your ultimate, throw your 2 orbs and then accretion, it can instantly wipe a 200 HP hero. So if you want to get a little bit better with him, then there's a quick tip to secure easy kills. But now that we talked about Sigma's hero kit and talked about the good, the bad, the ugly, now we have to bring back the question, is Sigma a broken hero? Will he start a new meta? Is he overpowered? Is he going to be the new Brigitte? And I will say no, because he will not benefit other heroes like how Brigitte did. The way that you create a new meta is that if you have heroes that require other heroes or that benefit other heroes. And when it comes to Sigma, I really feel like all of his abilities really only help him. His ultimate, his accretion, his kinetic grasp, they all benefit him. Now, if his kinetic grasp allowed a temporary shield for heroes around him, then yeah, I could definitely see that. But really, I think he's going to be a good tank like how Reinhardt is in terms of the protection, but everything else, they're going to benefit him. Now, the game's forever changing, so we might see a meta come up because of Sigma, but I don't think he's going to be game breaking like how Brigitte was. So if you're wondering if he's going to be broken, I really don't think so. He might be powerful in his own right, but not with specific heroes where you're forced to play them. And that's my final thoughts on Sigma at this initial moment in time. But maybe you still disagree. I still leave the comments open to you to tell me what you think about him. Do you like him? Do you hate him? Do you think his toes are weird? Do you think he's going to be broken? Just let me know. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.